And so literally STC literally accepted me willingly and offered me position and said to me, whatever you want to do, come and join us, help with your knowledge. And we work around any of your doctor's appointments. I'm going to kill you, but it's okay. You gave me a kidney already. So what can I do? Take another one? No, we're going to.
The Break Talk, you're taking it to another level. Better get ready with your host, Adam and Loretto. The dopest show that you ever heard, ever seen. The podcast about nothing and everything. Yeah. Break the Break Talk. Yeah. Break the Break Talk. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Break Talk. Adam, did you bring enough gel for today, or you need a little more?
No, I did. I actually I brought enough for me, but I don't know if Eddie needs some over there. It's Eddie, what's your situation over there with gel? Do you need some?
No, I'm good. I just had a fresh shave, so I'm good. Yeah. So I just want to let you guys know, I've watched every episode so far, and I got to call you guys out on stuff. And I got one for each of you here. So, Adam, first of all, the amount of gambling you spoke about so far, you're literally a degenerate, and that's actually the whole definition of degenerate. You chase the thrill.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, for sure. And secondly, how do you meet Loretto and call him out and say, hey, man, we got the same color eyes? Like, come on. That is like the worst try to way and make a friendship ever.
Tell me about it.
Oh, man. Yeah. That was grade 11. To be honest, I don't remember it. He says it. I don't even know if this is true. We don't even know if this is true.
How could I not remember that?
I don't even know if it's true. That's something he said. You know what the weirdest part about it is he told me this happened in a change room. This happens
even worse.
Yeah, I know.
We left that part out. We left that part out.
Yeah, apparently this happened in like the change room, which is like, yeah, way worse. But
Gym class.
that's when it happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't remember it, but
Well-
it is what it is. Okay. So you said you were talking about it. You said you were a Cowboys fan. What's the thrill in that?
Well, once Jerry Jones dies, the thrill will come back because he's literally ruined the Cowboys. And since he's had any touch on this team, there's been nothing to cheer about, frankly.
Yeah.
And he has let so many decent players go, and he's drafted and picked players and put them in great positions like Romo and the fucking disaster we have now. And all these players and no running back.
No, you guys have one.
We have nobody. And,
No,
and
you
this
do
is the thing,
now.
and you just give away Parsons practically for nothing.
Yeah, you
like
did. Yeah.
I'm just tired, and I'm just trying to hold on. And that's basically where I'm at.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Leafs fan to me.
Unfortunately, I'm one of those too. So,
All right, so let's kind of dive into yourself, right? If we can get like a quick introduction, besides you just being bald, like what else do people want to know about you besides that?
well, obviously my name's Eddie. I've been a plumber for 36 years. I'm a second generational plumber. My father actually started his own company, and literally he said to me 2 weeks after high school, what are you doing with your life?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't know yet. He says, okay, you know what? You got 2 weeks to just relax. And then after that, if you haven't figured it out, you're coming to work with me. I said, okay. So that's where I started in plumbing. But prior to that, actually, I tried a couple different jobs in the summer, working in, I actually worked at my uncle's Dairy Queen, which was kind of funny.
The ice cream?
Yeah, Dairy Queen.
Oh,
I worked at my
nice.
uncle's Dairy Queen for a while.
Did you get free?
Yeah, and that's one of the problems. The first year I worked there, I put on like 30 pounds. So, those slushies and ice creams. And that's when I was actually right into sports and all that sort of stuff. And, I was playing hockey. I played soccer. But that summer kind of went downhill. It was amusing, to say the least. That same winter, I ended up getting into a major car accident and almost dying, going into a coma. I remember multiple damage, like 3,200 stitches.
And how old were you at this time?
14.
Holy shit.
So kind of that first year when I kind of started working and figuring it all out, it kind of just hit me in the face pretty
So
hard.
like a little time recap here. This was before your dad was like, you got to figure it out?
Yeah, that was kind of like
Okay.
a breathe. And that's where I'm going with this is because literally I started out the job. So Dairy Queen, all this stuff. Then I actually worked as an electrician in the summer.
Okay.
And on
That's
the weekends
interesting.
to figure out, what I wanted to do. So it kind of a precursor to everything. But I got to a point in being the little thing I did in electricity, or electrician, I figured out I wasn't gay, so I didn't want to be an electrician anymore. So, as I went through my teens, I figured electrical's not my route. And that's when I learned, basically, my father gave me the opportunity and said, okay, you want to try it? Sure, let's try it. And that's where I went from there.
Yeah. So when you started plumbing, did you do residential? Were you doing commercial?
We did a little bit of everything, but I would say we concentrated more on commercial, industrial, that sort of. So we did a lot of factories, buildings, shopping malls, that sort of deal.
And you were working with your dad at the time?
Yeah. So I ended up working with my dad. I started my apprenticeship there, and for the people who knew my dad, he was a old school type guy. So when you learned the hard way, and there was no easy way. So you had to grind it out, and I think that's probably one of the things that helped, guide me through my career and figure out, there was no easy way. And he literally told me, if you want people to take you seriously, despite you're my son, you have to work double harder than everybody else to make sure that they understand and there's no favoritism. So I literally had to go out and hustle and prove to everybody I deserved where I was, what I did, and all my accomplishments.
Yeah.
Respect's everything in the trades.
It is, but you know what? You got to earn it. And that's one of the things I find, that everybody wants gratitude and instant, entitlement, but you can't really respect somebody if they haven't earned it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I will say though, that old school mentality is so, like, people don't understand. Like, so my dad's been a plumber for 25 years. Okay. I'll never forget this story. Okay. He's inside. Okay. We're doing a basement, right? A rough-in. So I was like 16 at the time, and I was working for him in the summer. And this is just, I don't know what it is about these old school Italians especially, but like, they expect you to know everything all the time. Okay. So he has this toolkit there. He's looking for this multi screwdriver. He's like, Adam, go get it in my van. He's like, it's an orange multi. Just go get it. I go to the van. I'm fucking looking. I'm tearing his van apart. Okay. I go back in. Dad, it's not there. He's like, it's there. Go and look. It's orange. Go and find it. I'm like, okay. Go back. I'm in there for 10 minutes. Okay. I'm looking. Can't find it. I go back in. I'm like, Dad, I've looked everywhere. I'm telling you it's not in there. He's like, if I go to that van and I fucking find that screwdriver, I'm going to backhand you. I said, go ahead. Look. He goes in there, right? Finds in a second. He's like, look, what's this? I was like, Dad, that's red. He's like, it doesn't fucking matter what color it is. Just get the multi, right? Yeah. So I'm like, these don't even know their colors, right? It's just that old school, style, man. It's just different.
I tell the story to some of the students here at STC sometimes, that literally back in the day, it wasn't uncommon for a tradesman to throw something at you, a piece of wood or whatever, and you just got to be fast or quick or do it right, and that's how you got better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the industry though, and it's changed a lot since obviously back then. A lot of that stuff doesn't fly nowadays with this generation coming up, but it is the best way to learn in terms of do it, or like you said, learn the hard way.
Get beat,
right? There's no well, I mean, not always get beat, but I mean, like that's how you remember. Like, if I don't figure this out right now, or I resort to my boss or my foreman right now, they're just gonna fucking yell at me. Yeah. And you got to sit there and figure it out yourself. And I think that's another problem with this generation, is that they just want everything handed to them on a silver spoon. They don't want to do the extra work. They don't want to get yelled at. They just want it. Just put this little screw in and you're done for your 8 hours. It's like, no, fucking work for it. Like, everything's just mouth fed to everyone nowadays, man. It's sad. It's sad.
It is absolutely true. That is probably one of the factors that kind of led me to say, you know what, I got to leave the industry and I have to just pick up. And there was multiple factors like COVID and stuff like that. But I got to a point in my life and I said, I've accomplished almost everything I wanted to accomplish in construction wise. And I'm like, you know what, I just wanted an easier life. But even how it all turned into, the entitlement, the Me Too movement. You can't scream at anybody. You can't yell at anybody. You can't get upset. I'm like, this is construction. I need sometimes, and I learned this through managing people over time. Some people need to be coddled. Some need to be told, something nice to coddle them and be good to them. Some people need to be yelled at. And that's something, if you know people and you've managed people, everybody ticks differently. And sometimes that's what they need. Nowadays, I don't think you can do that across the board because everybody's soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like the biggest change from now or from back then till now? Is that like the biggest change is kind of just obviously the young people coming in, but is it the vibe or is there anything else that's changed a lot in the years?
I find that, they want everything to be easy. And I get that part. Everybody wants to be easier, but I think sometimes you need to learn some of the hard things to make it easier or to understand why you are here now. So everybody wants just like some of even the systems we put together now are so easier than what we've done before. Because back in the past, you do copper, you do cast iron, it would be solid joints. Now it's, pecs and you staple or crimp it. It's very soft, very easy. The skill of some of these tradespeople have been lost because everything has gone so simplicity, So I find that change, and I find everybody doesn't really want to grind it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the crimping now, they have that gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have the compression guns, you have the crimping guns.
Mm-hmm.
It really, besides calculations and sizing and all that sort of stuff, the simplicity of putting things together are very simple now. There should be no excuse why you can't do it. And people still complain like, oh my God, it's so hard. Or so I probably could do all like a house by myself in one day with how simplicity is compared to how we used to do it, like copper and soldering. And so, yeah, it's very different now.
Yeah. So you've been doing obviously for a long time. So now you're a teacher, right?
Yeah. So now I'm a teacher, and do I have the permission to talk about a little background here for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it kind of brings me to where we're talking about. So I'm a teacher, but how I got here was, obviously, I went through my whole career from my father, learning this trade, starting as an apprentice, becoming a journeyman, becoming a foreman, becoming a superintendent. So I ended up because my father was so great in the industry, and a lot of people consider him a legend in the industry, it was so hard to fill his shoes that I really grinded it out, and I tried to elevate myself to be better than him. So I took on jobs and did jobs that were probably bigger than he's ever done. So I built KMH Hospital. And I'm not saying build, I was on the management team and helped guide the people installing. I did Pan Am games. Like I've done games, projects that are relevant part of the city now. So by learning all this and by doing this stuff, I'm able to say in a way where I've learned and seen people in the past elevate themselves or not elevate themselves. And so I really took it to heart to be better than my father and to be one of the best people in the industry. And I grinded it out to a point where I say, you know what? When COVID kind of came around, I said, you know what? I think I've done everything I wanted to do. And I transitioned and said, I'm going to go to Dominican. So I picked up my family after a little talk, and we said, you know what? We just got to get life a little easier. And we went down there, and we kind of just said goodbye to everything in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, when I got down there,
so sorry to cut you off, how did that work? Like you just did you have kids?
Yeah, I have kids. We had a family talk.
Yeah.
And we literally said, my daughter had because of COVID, my daughter was in high school at the time. She kind of suffered from depression a little bit.
Yeah.
Me and my wife were just having it, had enough of COVID. And I just said, you know what? I just finished renovating the house. I said, you know what? If we can get this number, we can walk away and laugh about it because we hustled all our lives. So this kind of was a plan, kind of eventually to get there. But COVID kind of elevated it to a whole different level and kind of pushed up my plan for 5 years. So we ended up going down there and decided to change our lives.
So you did it. House sold?
House sold.
Wow.
Packed it up. I told my family, you get 4 suitcases each and let's go.
That's
Okay.
crazy. So
Wow.
you just packed up your shit and
Packed it
got out
up,
of here.
packed the dogs.
And your daughter was cool. Like, I mean, that's
My
a
daughter
big
was
transition.
like, you know what? She wanted something new. And I got to tell you straight up, the transition, she actually excelled the best out of all of us.
Wow.
And she loved high school there. She was doing jiu-jitsu down there.
Did she know Spanish?
That's the funny thing. My wife's Spanish,
Oh, okay.
who's fluent,
Makes sense.
and she's always tried to teach her. But in 6 months, my daughter went from no Spanish to literally fluent Spanish.
Wow.
That's the only way you learn, though. You got to go down there and you have no choice but to speak the language.
Yeah, but like Spanish is a not weird language. Spanish is a very tricky language. Depending on what country you are, the speed increases.
So where's Dominican?
Like Dominican is super fast.
Oh, really?
Like I would be decent in Mexico, but in Dominican, they speak so fast, it's like a hurricane just went by you.
Wow.
So my daughter learned Dominican, like Spanish, but also slang. So she's like right in there. My wife obviously speaks Spanish. And I'm the gringo on the beach just trying to, with either Google Translate I started with, and then I eventually used my Italian to transition to Spanish. And then between my friends I made down there and learning. So I learned a little bit. I realized I'll never get lost now. I always find the washroom and I always eat. So I'm good.
And ask for a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uno cerveza. The Break Talk podcast is brought to you by Skilled Trades College. Looking to get involved with the trades but don't know where to start? Where can you find all the info, Loretto?
Head over to skilledtradescollege.ca and get the skills to pay the bills.
Yeah, so we're 6 months in Dominican, and we settled in. We found our dream home. It's beautiful. Now I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with myself? So my daughter was going to school. Me and my wife were hanging out at the pool, hanging out at the beach for a while. But we said to ourselves, okay, this is what's going to happen down here. Either we got to improve our lives, or we sit there and watch all these other people that come down here and they forget they're not on vacation anymore and they're actually moved here and they become alcoholics. So we said, we ain't going to be those people. So what we did was, as I got comfortable where I was and the area I was starting to get to know it, I literally found this kind of almost hole-in-the-wall type of jiu-jitsu school that I had no idea had the credentials and the people in this little town, because this is a little beach town that no one's even heard of. And this has amazing jiu-jitsu school with just an amazing jiu-jitsu story. So it's called Academia de la Costa, which is in Cabarete, Dominican Republic, Cabarete in the Spanish way. And it's this guy named Papo who literally 20-something years ago started this school he was a fighter himself. He went to the Professional Fighters League. He learned jiu-jitsu, learned a bunch of other martial arts, partnered up with this Canadian guy. And they started this school for basically to help kids who had no idea and couldn't afford to do jiu-jitsu. So he started basically with a bunch of kids and pretty much on his own dime, and just started the school slowly to build up a repertoire of athletes. And some of these athletes have turned into UFC fighters and a bunch of black belts who are not only great teachers and great purveyors of jiu-jitsu, but great human beings. And the part that really attached me is I walked in first day and I had a little bit of a wrestling background, and they welcomed me from day one. They made me feel special. They taught me everything they knew. And I didn't even realize I was around people who are like jiu-jitsu champions. And some of these guys won the Brazilian Open. And I had no idea who these guys were.
They were humble though.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I never knew who any of these people were until I really dove into it and started figuring this out. I had trained with Alex, the Dominican Nightmare Garcia. He kind of grew up there and trained with Papo.
That's crazy.
And a bunch of jiu-jitsu well-known people like Roberto Abreu, which is Cyborg. He came down and trained with him. And you can see the history of these guys and just great people. And this is the kind of person he is. About 7-8 years ago, he realized the town was really not thriving as much as he would. So he created a community garden to feed 100 poverty-stricken families.
That's amazing.
Out of his own pocket. And he's now made an organization that everybody kind of goes down there to train jiu-jitsu, contributes to the garden in some way.
Is this the biggest jiu-jitsu gym there?
I don't know if it's the biggest jiu-jitsu. I know that they have many campuses around Dominican, and they're definitely making strides. But it's this is the kind of gym it is. When they go to tournaments, even if they're the lowest belt, they usually are the most impressive people there. That's the kind of people, like, he doesn't give belts out. You have to earn it. And I'd rather be in that situation than walk around and say I'm a black belt when you're really not a black belt. Like, when you say you're a black belt from Academia La Costa, you're a serious black belt.
Yeah.
It's not free.
Oh, not free. And that's the other part about this. He literally charges everybody a minimum of $10. It's on a pay scale. It's what you can afford. So anything above $10, you sponsor a kid from the community.
So he just wants people to get into the sport and
1,000%.
So it's
get
$10.
involved.
$10 American, and you cover yourself. Anything above that, you're just helping another kid in the community who can't afford to go.
Is that like a yearly membership or is that like lifetime?
That's a month.
Oh,
That's
a
$10
month.
a month.
Okay.
$10 a month.
Oh, $10
Okay.
a month. That's nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
There's schools here that charge $400 a month.
Right.
And,
And you're getting coaching there too as well, right? You're not just going there to train.
You're getting like amazing coaching. Like, and again, not only amazing coaching, amazing people. Being around them, it makes you want to be a better person.
Sorry, give me like what year is this? What year are we in here? This is COVID, so 2019, 2020?
This is kind of when that was happening.
Okay,
With
so
the
we're in
garden
2020
and-
here. Okay.
With the garden, like for me, actually, this is just after 6 months after COVID.
Okay.
Pretty much, like,
Gotcha.
from the beginning, like, let's call it.
Okay.
So this is like 2021. And I started training with them every day to a point where it became obsession.
And this is where you got into, you had the wrestling background before, but now
Yeah.
you're kind of found your new passion in this.
Right. And so that was the funny thing. When they welcomed me, I didn't realize, how it works in a jiu-jitsu gym. But literally, when you go into jiu-jitsu gym and you're a new guy, everybody looks at you like fresh meat.
Okay.
Like, literally. So they had never seen a guy my size, which
Yeah.
is like, at the time I'm still 6'3", but I maybe was 345.
Wow.
So I went in as a big guy. I can move a little bit, but I thought, okay, you know what? I was watching these kids around the class and these even adults, they weren't big guys. And he says, okay, after a few lessons, okay, who do you want to roll with? Which is basic sparring. I'm like, I don't care. Give me whoever you want. I'm thinking I'm going to mop the floor with them. It did not work out that way at all. Did not work that way out. And I would consider that my second worst beating, but the guy who's he's literally goes around the world now competing in championships and competitions. This guy's named Jose. He was 145 pounds. Maybe he was 20, maybe he was 18, 19. And he literally pinned my back to the mat. For 5 solid minutes, I could not get up. I could not move. I could not do anything. And I had some sort of wrestling background. And I was overwhelmed by the technique of jiu-jitsu, which I always appreciated, but I never got into like I wanted to. And it really taught me something that day.
And was he like high up in belts? Like what was he?
He was, at the time, I think he was a blue belt. And that's nothing crazy, like a blue belt
Does
itself.
it go blue then white?
No, white's first,
Yeah,
then
white's
blue,
Oh, okay.
purple, brown, black.
Gotcha.
So he was fresh. He still whooped your ass.
No, he was higher than me. I was fresh.
Yeah, but he was
regardless,
still.
he wasn't
You
the
were
best.
way out
he
of his
was-
weight class.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what was his weight?
145 pounds.
140 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
He and that's the day I learned how jiu-jitsu and wrestling is different. It's more technique, and technique is everything in jiu-jitsu. You can take, it's a funny story because his sister is like 12 years old now, and the minute I saw her from that time,
Don't say she whooped your ass.
she can whip anybody's asses as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
She goes
100%.
around the world now.
100%.
As of right now, she goes around the world. She's 12, I think. And she competes in divisions that are, she competes in adult divisions, so she's 6 years younger and probably gives up 40 pounds.
Wow.
And she
wow.
wins some of these divisions. So like you can see the brother and sister are so hungry there. They want to take themselves out of poverty.
Yeah.
They got something that I've never seen before.
Yeah, and they fight with a different fire that's lit
Absolutely.
inside them that just people just don't have. I think that would be the difference in that gym compared to like, a gym here or in the States, right?
And that's the one thing I say. I am so blessed to have had my really true first jiu-jitsu experiences in a place like this, because man, I'm so grateful. I'm so honored that I even had the opportunity to spend time with guys like this, and that really probably elevated my game. And my game's still shit, but regardless of the fact, it's helped me get so much better faster. And literally, like within 6 months of training there, I probably took off 50 pounds.
That's crazy.
Like, and I've always gotten better and stuff like that. But crazy and just great people, great things.
Has a lot of like athletes pass through that gym?
Yeah, that's the thing. Papo has a lot of respect from a lot of people in the jiu-jitsu world, and literally we've had again Alex Nightmare Garcia. There's another guy, Patrick Mendoza, who's actually got an academy here in Toronto now, which is he's pretty good. He fights around the whole world and he refs competitions and does all that. You got Roberto Abreu, which is Cyborg Jiu-Jitsu Cyborg, and if you look him up, he's amazing. He's come down and visit. You got Thiago Abuji. He's won the Brazilian Open a couple times, and he just goes around the world teaching his defense. He's amazing, and constant people like that coming in and out, and just greatness all around.
Yeah. What about from the UFC world? No one from the UFC world?
Alex Nightmare Garcia, he was in UFC 25. He fought a bunch of UFC fights.
Oh, cool.
And Papo was literally in his corner for about, I don't know, 3-4 UFCs for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's some really amazing guys there. And the link actually, after Roberto left Dominican, he actually went to Montreal to train with TriStar, which he trained with George St. Pierre. And so they all trained together.
So George St. Pierre also has come around there?
No, he hasn't come there, but eventually there was a link because when Roberto was, when Alex was training, he moved up to TriStar to improve his training there. And that's where George St. Pierre trained. So Papo, Alex, and George would train together a few times in Montreal.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a small world, eh? It's just recently, George St. Pierre, the newest ambassador of the school, and
yeah.
That's wild, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the Gretzky of jiu-jitsu as far as not the Gretzky of jiu-jitsu, but the Gretzky of UFC in Canada especially. That's him.
Maybe UFC overall, man.
Yeah,
that guy's he's
absolutely. I would still consider him top 3. Like amazing.
Yeah.
What he's done. And literally he could have did more, but he's just said, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that guy, Papo, you were saying, is so connected from just being in a gym in like Dominican. Like
apparently
it's crazy how it's.
Apparently he was in the Professional Fighters League. He had trained in like different places of the world, Europe and Switzerland. And this is before it was really popular.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, the Gracies made jiu-jitsu popular. And until UFC 1, which was like 1993, you had a bunch of Brazilian guys who knew it, but nobody else.
Yeah. Wasn't the Brazilians like kickboxing too? Was that their thing as well?
Like kickboxing was a little bit everywhere because you have a lot of Europeans who do kickboxing too. So that's a little bit everywhere, I think.
Okay. That was like UFC. Early UFC was like there was like the no weight classes, right?
Yeah,
it was just a free
that was
whatever you got
time.
Yeah. And if you want, like I remember watching UFC 1, and you're looking at these different guys, and there was a couple of impressive guys like Dan Severn and all those type of people. But when Royce Gracie came out, literally, I'm going, what's going to happen here? This guy's going to get smoked. And he shocked the world. He literally did. And he showed the world what jiu-jitsu can do to the world. And actually, he wasn't one who was supposed to fight. It was supposed to be his brother because his brother was actually better. Rickson was better at jiu-jitsu. But the father, Helio, said, no, we're going to send the smallest Gracie to prove the world the smallest guy can beat anybody. And that's what he did. Sent Royce Gracie. And he won 3 in a row, I think.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So size doesn't really matter.
No, it's technique over anything else.
Yeah.
Feel better about yourself, Adam?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Size doesn't matter.
That's crazy though. Like for even you're saying like for a guy 140 pounds to just pin you like that. Like you have you were 300 and something at the time?
Yeah, I would probably say I was easy 330.
Wow.
And he manhandled me and just had his way with me literally for those 5 minutes. And I was just literally trying to get off the mat. No other goal was trying to get this guy who I would have figured I could take him off me, but with leverage and technique, he was just
no shot.
Yeah.
No shot.
Yeah.
So Eddie, I want to get to the rest of your story here. I want to hear. So you got to Dominican, you find this gym, you kind of make it your home. Now take me through what happens after that in your life, because I mean personally I know, but I want to I want to hear this.
It's I finally got to a place in my life where I was at peace. I really found my paradise. I found my happiness. I found my hobbies I really wanted to do. And I continued to do all those things. Enjoyed the sun, enjoyed the beach, enjoyed jiu-jitsu. And I was actually planning to go to Bahamas to do my last job ever, which is to build a resort. And I started doing my medicals. And through my tests, my doctor in Dominican, who's actually in my social circuit, he was my friend. We would go out for drinks every Friday night, says to me, hey, go do this test. Okay. I do the test and he calls me and says, hey, something's wrong with this test. I think you better do it again. Maybe the lab screwed it up. Okay. Didn't think much of it. And I do the test again. He calls me, I think, whatever it was, 2 days later. He says, what are you doing right now? He goes, whatever you're doing, I don't care. Come right to my office. Okay. So we pick up, go to the office. And he literally tells me, he says, the test that we just did, he says, you have 7% kidney function left. He says, I don't know how you even got here because most people under 20 are either in dialysis or in a coma. He says, do you not feel anything? I had no symptoms at all.
Really?
No symptoms. And literally, he basically said, you have to go back to Canada and get a transplant, kidney transplant. And I was like, it was surreal because I'm like,
oh, you did those tests in Dominican?
Yeah, I was in Dominican doing the tests,
gotcha.
getting ready to go to Bahamas to work. That was the plan.
Okay.
And literally, he tells me, you have to go back to Canada and figure this out. And the one thing I didn't stay in Dominican was because they're not really big on transplants yet. You can get dialysis and get like, but that wasn't going to solve the problem for me. So I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to come back to Canada. Came back to Canada, got on it like the next day, and literally worked through the process of trying to get a kidney, finding a donor. And I was super lucky. A lot of people wait 3 years, 5 years, 8 years. I met people who were waiting 17 years. I got super lucky that I had 2 people that offered me a kidney. The first one was a great match, but which was my sister. She found out she needed something to do with her kidney, so she had to get surgery. So they took her off the list. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to start all over again.
How much? You guys got kidney problems there?
Well, it was just an odd thing. It wasn't even the same scenario. It was just something completely different.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things that inadvertently she was trying to save my life. But with all this happening, we saved her life. Because it would have been undetected. It would have been much worse.
Holy shit.
It's crazy how the world works like that, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. It does
and then
weird things.
This is where the loop actually makes it even crazier. There's a guy I met on Facebook while we're in Dominican asking questions about how is it to move to Dominican? And I'm like, great. So I've been answering this guy's answers.
Wait, so some random guy just messaged?
Some random guys, throughout the time I'm in Dominican, this random guy's always asking questions. How is it to live there?
This guy's from Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where he ends up being my donor.
What the fuck?
So if I never moved to Dominican, I would have never met this guy. And literally, I was kind of the link where he was trying to get where I was. And he's the one who actually saved my life. In the end, he donated his kidney, which is some random guy I made on Facebook that I actually became friends with. Like through time, I became friends with. But he insisted, this is what I was meant for, is to give you a kidney. And he was selfless enough to offer me his kidney. And now he lives 5 minutes away from me in Dominican.
That's insane. I didn't know that
I'm
part.
fucking mind blown. Hold up.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? So this, what the fuck? So this random guy messages you on, you're in Dominican.
Right.
Who the fuck's this guy?
Okay.
How does he know you?
Does he just follow you on
so-
Instagram
well,
or something?
go?
Listen. So in Dominican, a lot of things are left off of WhatsApp or Facebook. So in there's a lot of Facebook.
This is also back. Oh no, this is 2020. So Facebook wasn't that big.
No. This is even going back to this is 2021, 2022. So this is around 2022 now. So 2022, I realize I'm sick. I'm already talking to this guy already for the last year on Facebook, but
who? Well, why?
because he was asking questions on how it is to move there. So based on a Facebook group.
It's a Facebook group.
Yeah, Facebook. Based on a Facebook group,
okay.
he's asking me questions and just randomly, I'm answering.
So you're in a Facebook group for like travelers in Dominican or some shit like that?
It's basically the towns I live in or the towns I live around.
Okay, that makes
Like
more
a
sense.
neighborhood group.
Yeah, it's a
I thought
neighborhood
just
group
some
on Facebook.
random guy just...
No, so he is a random guy.
I know, but what's the
okay, I
connection?
got you.
right?
So this is where it kind of gets a little funny, where I'm answering this guy's questions. My wife's on the same group answering, who happens to be his wife, but we don't know this yet. She's asking some random ladies questions too. So me and my wife talked one day. And we're like, I'm answering this guy's question. He goes, I'm asking this woman's question. I said, what's her name? And so he says their name, and I said, man, it's the same last name. They must be related.
Yeah.
So anyways, they're husband and wife. So we started laughing because I'm thinking, I knew what my guy does. My guy's a cop. So I'm thinking, this is weird. How does this guy not put together that we're all talking? He's a cop. Would you think he'd figure it out being a cop? So he finally comes down to visit one time. And we said, he goes, you mind we go for a drink? So we go, yeah. So we all meet up. I pick them up from their hotel. We go for a drink because we've already talked on Facebook for a few years. And I said to him, do you know we were all talking to each other, just nobody knew? And so I make fun of him all the time because you're a cop and you couldn't figure that out. Like, you would never be a detective.
Yeah.
So he literally, as we progressed the friendship, it kind of just blossomed into a real friendship, but never knowing it was going to be to the point where this guy's going to donate his kidney to me. It was just going to be some guy who's going to live in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So he insisted and helped me in getting my kidney, and he donated his kidney to me.
Wow.
So they just volunteer to give up their kidney, and they can just give it straight to you, even if somebody else is waiting, say, longer or more in need, or
Yeah, what's the
like,
process
how,
like that?
how does that work?
So
And how do you know if it works? Like, how can his kidney? I don't know any of this shit.
yeah, I learned all this because I didn't know any of this stuff. So luckily enough, there has to be a lot of factors. Blood type's one, your autoimmune system, they have to match. So these are factors they put in. And sometimes they can give you a shot or medicine to help the cohesiveness of it all. But if your body rejects it, your body rejects it, no matter what happens. So when he gave me his, it was, it matched. Everything was on the up and up. So it was like, okay, just a matter of getting it done. We finally get it done. And I felt great right off the hop. Like, it was definitely an improvement. Like, within 3 weeks, I had already started walking around and moving around. Like, I came to work a couple of days. That's how I was feeling. That's how good I was feeling. And he actually, when they took him out, he actually felt worse because they took stuff out and they put stuff in. So his body was actually worse for 2 months.
What did they put in his?
They take out the kidney, so he has nothing. So it's a void space. So what they tell you, you'll have like pains and phantom pains and all these sort of pain. So he was actually worse off for 2 months after the surgery, and I was doing much better. So
it's crazy to think about.
It's absolutely
like
crazy.
to think like you got to tell, like, so for example, your work, like, yeah, I'm going into surgery, and they're gonna say why, and it's like, I'm giving up my kidney, and it's like, you can't say anything to that. So that's just like a person of just who deserves whatever the fucking time off they need. Like, yeah, you're doing that good of a thing in life. Go take the time.
So he was planning to retire. Like, he was working towards retirement, and he was an OPP cop. And he said to them, you know what? I'm going to donate a kidney. I'm going to retire now. I'm going to donate this kidney, and then I'm never coming back. And that's what he did. So he took an early retirement, basically to help me. And then 3 months after he finished his recovery from the surgery, he moved down 5 minutes away from where I live. And obviously me and my wife helped him with settling in there and just learning the town and kind of all that sort of stuff. But I would have never put together me moving to Dominican would lead to this guy saving my life in any way.
And at the same time, you saved your sister as well.
Because inadvertently, it wasn't me, but the doctors with the tests. If it never would have happened, it was just you would never have known. Never known.
Wow,
that's fucking insane.
That's fucking wild. You're still friends with him till this day?
Oh,
he lives 5 minutes from his house.
That's the fun part.
Why would he not be friends with the guy who saved his life?
He's going to be watching this, right?
He will. Well, once it comes out, he'll be watching.
You're a good fucking man. What's his name? Well, I guess
Dave Haywood.
Dave Haywood, man. That's
shout out.
And
Dave,
never heard a story like that.
I actually got this tattoo. Okay, when I got dialysis, it was a PICC line here. I got this tattoo right below the PICC line to represent and to thank him. And this tattoo was dedicated to him. It means health and vitality. And he's got a lot of Nordic ruin kind of tattoos, so it matches what is on his body now.
Wow.
So I kind of dedicated it to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's no words.
Insane.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do to repay
say
that.
to somebody.
No.
And I always made a point to everybody, I am not asking a soul for their kidney. Who has the humility to ask somebody else for that? How do you even ask the question? How do you have I couldn't even ask my own family.
No, I know.
I said to straight up,
No,
I said to everybody, I'm not asking a soul. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
he like insisted. Because you probably at first were like, no way, man.
He was so far on my list, down on my list, I wasn't even considering him.
Yeah.
But he really said to me, he goes, we are meant to. He goes, the way he described it to me is, we were meant to meet, and obviously this is something bigger. He goes, but I really think we met for this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think how the world actually put that all together. I know this. I don't know if this is like a wrong way to think about it, but that beer, when you guys moved back to Dominican and you're both fully healthy after surgeries, you cheers each other. That must have been the craziest fucking beer of your life. Like, just like, cheers to fucking saving my life, giving up your kidney. We're both in Dominican on the beach right now. We're living, we're happy, we're doing all that. Like, that's insane. I don't know. I don't know why I thought of a beer in that situation, but I just thought of that.
No,
think about that, like, that moment.
It's an absolutely surreal moment. And I was so, despite me being sick, and even after I got healthy, I never really like felt sick, or never, like, it was moments, but I kind of pushed through everything. And even after surgery, they tell you straight up, you can't travel internationally for a year. So I'm like, I gotta wait a year? I've already been gone a year. I already been kind of going back and forth a little bit, but every time I go back to Dominican, I have to go to dialysis. So it was kind of a pain in the ass. Really wasn't comfortable. But when I got back after surgery, they said to me, I want to go at Christmas, like 6 months in after surgery. And I was doing so good, so amazing from recovery and all this stuff. Said, yeah, you can go, but only because you're allowed to go to your own house. I said, no problem. And so we spent New Year's together. And I can tell you right now, it was the best New Year's I ever had.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
That's a celebration of life. Not even like Happy New Year. That's a celebration of life, man.
So for him, does he now have to take things into consideration? Because kidney processes like the function of like different toxins, and it's like a filter.
It's
in
absolutely
a sense,
filter.
right?
Yeah.
So like for him, does now he have to keep in mind like
No.
alcohol or whatever it is? Like
they do such a rigorous process of testing you. You got to be pretty good in shape to even consider testing and donating a kidney.
Yeah.
So he was in pretty good shape, and it really wasn't an issue for him on the fact of how healthy he was. But on every person, as you age, it deteriorates a little bit. But he was so good that they said straight up, you can donate a kidney, and people survive on one kidney all the time.
Yeah, I know that, but
So like for me, they don't take the other two out. I actually have 3 kidneys. So they put the third one in the front.
Oh shit.
So it's crazy.
That's fucked.
So when I do jiu-jitsu now, I actually
you can't take a kidney shot now.
No, absolutely not. Well, actually, when I do jiu-jitsu now, I have to wear a special belt, and that's the only way I can do jiu-jitsu, because if I take impact in the front right side,
kill.
It will. There's no protection. So,
I've taken kidney shots from my dad when I was younger, and it was supposed to be like a joke. I actually woke up the next morning and I got rushed to the hospital because I had appendicitis. So till this day, I actually blame my father giving me that, that famous kidney shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that kidney shot and got appendicitis the next day.
Yeah.
Those hurt. I took one by accident. Fuck, those are the worst shots.
Yeah, this is. I've had worse than those, but yeah, teach his own, right? You learn a lesson somewhere along the lines when you're messing around or someone's messing around with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how can I be? There's nothing I can give this guy, nothing I can say to this guy, Dave, for giving me his kidney. And so the only thing I could say to him, and always say to him, when you're down there and we finally get together back there, I want to introduce you to jiu-jitsu. I said, I want you to bring around you these people, because some of the things they taught me and some of the things they did for me probably got me through that hard time with some of the words and some of the lessons I learned in jiu-jitsu. So it helped. It's truly, I think, being there and learning jiu-jitsu and being around these people helped me really stay alive and keep the right attitude to fight this right to the end. And then Dave helps me, and I'm saying straight up, how can I help this guy back? I bring him to the school to introduce him to all these people. And he now is in jiu-jitsu and he loves it. And he can't wait for me to get back because he wants to scrap with me. So I said to him, I'm going to kill you, but it's okay. You gave me a kidney already. So what can I do? Take another one? No. We're gonna
No kidney shots in that one.
No. So, but you know what? Throughout the whole process, I always said to her, my biggest concern was obviously the kidney, but every other doctor I went to go see, can I do jiu-jitsu after I'm finished?
First question you asked.
And they're like, what's fucking wrong with you? Did you want to stay alive? I said, if I can't do jiu-jitsu, I don't know if I'm going to have any more fun in life. Like, that's how much it meant to me.
Wow.
But the lessons I learned in jiu-jitsu really helped me keep strong.
Quick question about jiu-jitsu. I always see this on Instagram. I don't know if this is true. Or when you get a new belt, do you have to do that walk where everyone fucking slaps you in the back with their that? First of all, that looks painful. But is that true? Is that like depending on the gym?
Yeah, it depends on the gym.
Okay.
It's kind of a custom. It's not everywhere.
Okay. Did you guys do that?
Not so much like that. It was more of an honoring and just kind of like, you know what, you come to this level.
Yeah.
And
they didn't do the slapping thing.
Not to the extent of where you're like some of these guys really rip on other people.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't like that. It was more gentle.
Yeah, pussies.
But I've watched a couple of my friends gain their black belt, and literally, it's literally just a surreal moment for them. And I felt so good for them, and it wasn't even my belt, but I was just like, oh my God, like this guy's worked 12 years, 15 years for this, and the tears start flowing when you get a belt, and you're like, it's not like people on the outside go, it's not a big deal. No, it is a fucking huge deal. Some of these guys have worked so hard to achieve that level, and it's so hard to quantify into words unless you're in it. But man, it's an amazing feat.
I like this vibe of this gym that you go to down there.
Listen,
maybe I got to get to Dominican.
I'm telling you, like I've been around other gyms, but I love this guy and I love the way he teaches, and everybody who has that exposure to him, come back. Like guys from Norway come, guys from like Paris and France.
So this has to be a huge gym.
It's not a huge gym.
It has to be though.
It's a small town.
No, I'm not saying like huge. The gym's huge. I'm saying like if you're getting international people that know about this gym, it must be a big gym in the community.
Well, we were saying that guy. What's his name? Papo or
Papo?
Yeah. Papo. He's well connected in the industry, so obviously,
so it's a
people
big
respect
gym
it.
in that.
So they have now.
That sense.
So him and his partner has a gym in Ottawa, and De La Costa. So if they were any closer, I'd be going there because it's 1-1. It's 1-1A, and then they have a bunch of gyms in. Around Dominican, Santo Domingo, Nagua, in Las Arenas, and there's all black belts that have grown up in the system that are teaching. So it's all internal people who've gone through the system that teach throughout all their campuses. And it's just, they teach it so differently than most people. And this is the part I love. He teaches you for points, for competition. He teaches you for self-defense. And then he teaches you, if it's a street fight, you got to kill somebody. So we go through every lesson and we do the 3 different options based on what you're planning for. And I love that because you drill those 3 things over and over again until you know how to separate the situation when you're in it and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do here. If I do this, I'll kill this guy. So this is not the right appropriate. So it's kind of like jiu-jitsu, super jiu-jitsu, because you're learning everything and every element in any situation. And it's like drilled into your brain. And until your body is able to do it fluently.
Yeah.
Wow.
So don't fuck with Eddie.
Yeah.
No, let me tell you this. I am shit. But to a common person who doesn't train, I'm smoking you.
Yeah. Well, there's a huge difference between the guys
and I think where I benefited from, they don't have guys my size there. So everybody wanted to go me because literally it was fun for them. It was a challenge. So for a long time, even now, I take a beating every day. But it's, you know what? I love being out there because I get better by whoever I'm surrounded with or whoever I'm with. And it's a challenge. And I know I won't be the best, but I know I won't be the worst either. And if anybody ever knocks on my door, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
You're ready.
Yeah. So now, so you're jiu-jitsu, you're back in Dominican. How do you transition back to Canada? How did you get back here?
How the fuck are you here right now?
Yeah, what the fuck's going? Like, there's a huge.
It's an amazing story because literally I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I have to leave Dominican.
Why?
Okay. Well, because I have to leave Dominican because I have to get a kidney transplant.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's where I'm saying.
Okay.
I had to come back here to get it, right? So I had to leave Dominican. Finally decided I have to leave Dominican to come back. And I come back. And now I'm like, looking out the window of the condo, and I'm trying to figure out, what am I going to do with myself? So literally, I call up Ralph, okay, at SEC, and I say, listen, is that offer still stand? He's like, what offer? I said, well, years ago, when he was deciding or thinking about the plumbing part of adding the plumbing part to the school, we saw each other one day. He says, hey, would you consider teaching? And at the time I said, no, not even remotely on my radar. So when I came back and looked out the window, I was like, okay, I got to do something, because I don't think I'm going to sit here and wait for shit to happen, dialysis, the kidney, to find a kidney. What am I going to do with myself? I called him up and said, can I come? He says, you know what? Come Monday. What do you want to do? I said, I don't care. He goes, we'll find something for you. And so literally STC literally accepted me willingly and offered me position and said to me, whatever you want to do, come and join us, help with your knowledge. And we work around any of your doctor's appointments. So I am super grateful that I have good friends at STC, good friends with Ralph, and they really allowed me to share my knowledge, even being sick, and giving me hope, I guess, or desire to keep myself occupied, because I needed something to work through. And because now I was sick and I couldn't do jiu-jitsu and I couldn't do anything else, I needed another outlet. My knowledge of being in this trade for so long automatically came out. And I was able to teach here, contribute to the school, contribute to the curriculum, contribute to every aspect of the school, especially the plumbing department. And I've helped ever since I've been here. So now I'm at a point where I escape a little bit at a time. So I'll go back to Dominican. I'll come back to teach. I'm hoping to increase that sooner than later. So, but I love it every day. I get to share my knowledge. I get to share it on a new generation of people that are coming up, and really show how it is to be a true plumber and a true tradesperson. I love sharing that knowledge.
It's funny. You're like a student in Dominican, but here you're the teacher.
1,000%.
It's like vice versa over there. You're like
1,000.
the black belt guy here. You know what I mean? And you go to Dominican, you're 17 again, being a student.
Absolutely. That's a great analogy, because I couldn't have said it better. But yeah, I'm back sharing my knowledge and trying to teach them like I've been taught, and I'm still being taught. And the one thing I've learned here, times have changed, people have changed, but even being back here, it shows me or helped me. I think also with jiu-jitsu, I've kind of been a different person, because I really want to share the knowledge, but I found a way how to share the knowledge. Years past, when he first offered me the job, I don't think I would have been able to, but I think through patience and through learning lessons, being uncomfortable, learning to be comfortable in an uncomfortable position has really taught me how to share my knowledge and just say, you know what, they're not going to get it all, but if I can impact 1 life, 2 lives, 3 lives, 4 students, it's gonna build, and I'm gonna find my own route and my own way, and I have, and I think now I kill it.
Do you think being a student there in Dominican helped you transition to be a better teacher here? Like, do you think you've learned a lot of things there that you kind of put towards being a teacher here in Canada?
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. Again, when I was in the trade, I literally was a go-to guy. So there was no stopping me. And all my team that I built through time knew what they expect, and we're pushing hard every day, and there's no messing around. And I treated jiu-jitsu the same way. And I kind of try to teach these kids nowadays, because the kids some days walk in a little late, kind of lackadaisy. I'm like, you can't go to a job with that attitude. You got to be early. You got to be eager. You got to be ready. Like, you got to be hungry. And if you're not any of those things, somebody else is going to be those things.
You got to find that fire. You got to find that fire.
And
go ahead.
And I try to light that fire every day under students. So you know what? One way or another, try to get them there.
Yeah. Do you think that, like you were saying, that Adam asked you if, like, learning jiu-jitsu back in Dominican and then teaching over here, it obviously helped you become a better teacher. But how about learning a craft with your hands and understanding all the hard work you put in with your, not just your hands, your body in jiu-jitsu, right? Learning all these different techniques. How does that relate to the trades? And I guess, how does it make sense that this UFC STC scholarship and brand deal that they got going on, that speaks even more volume now that I'm hearing it from a different perspective. But I'd love to hear how you think jiu-jitsu relates to, that hard work and finding that fire and stuff like that. Like, how do you go about all that?
So I look at it a few different aspects, but the one I look at it, and most importantly, technique beats everything. Right? You can get technique, okay? You can have talent, but if you don't do the right things with it, it doesn't mean anything.
Are you a work smarter, not harder guy?
Absolutely. But you know what? Like, I try to teach that every day, and I sometimes let the students make a mistake because sometimes I think making a mistake, you learn from it better than you make no mistakes.
Right.
So I really try to instill that, and I try to instill the fact that, if we learn the right techniques, every little good thing you do will lead to another good thing or bigger good things. Like it keeps building.
Right.
But if you try to say, hey, in 5 years, I want to be a foreman, and you never showed any of the leadership skills prior to that, it's never going to happen. So if you want to be that person, start with today. And just like I find jiu-jitsu, if I want to be good at jiu-jitsu today, I got to train every day for tomorrow, and I'm going to get my ass beat, and I'm going to get up, and I'm going to go again on the mat, and tomorrow's going to be another day, and I hope that I learn every day, and I transition that into school the same way. You may have not got the concept yesterday. You may have got it tomorrow. But at some point in your course here, these things are going to start to match together, and you're going to grow your skill set, gain confidence, and then you're going to walk around, maybe your chest puffed out, a little confidence, a little swagger. That's what you want at the end, because nobody comes in day one knowing everything, but by the end of it, you should be a viable person who can contribute from day one on a job site. And everything I've seen so far with the curriculums and the courses I've taught here, by the end, these guys leave probably equivalent to a year to a year and a half apprentice. Some of the better students, probably equivalent to a second year apprentice. And this is me saying it. So I'm tough on all apprentices, but some of these kids have impressed me because they have worked through the grind, hustled through the skill set, learn the skills, listening to tell them you're holding it wrong, you're doing it wrong, this is how you hold it, this is why you hold it, you want to work smarter, not harder, you want to fight the whole thing. The tool's there to do the work, you just got to guide it. That's it.
Wow. It's funny you say that. My foreman used to yell at me if I was like pushing in my drill and screwing in like a 3-inch screw. He's like, dude, relax. Let the drill do the fucking work.
That's exactly it.
I'm like, fuck, my bad, man.
Yeah.
It's a finesse.
That's a incredible story. Like that's
I think
that's
Adam's
wild.
still shooken up from it. He's just recovering.
I don't get the guy messaging you on Facebook still. What the fuck? Like, just some random guy.
Well, literally, because
Adam's like, what are you trying to get out of him? Like who is this guy? Like, man, he
like, is this someone your wife didn't know about?
No.
So, like, what's the deal with this guy?
So down there, there's a lot of communities. Okay, so how this community started, or how this group started, is a bunch of expats, so people who move from other countries, talk on Facebook about, hey, this restaurant, or where to go.
You're one of those guys?
No, but that's how it works down there. Because when you're new, you're learning the whole country.
You did it there. You didn't do it. You weren't doing it here.
No, I've already moved there.
Okay.
So
are you a review guy? Like, do you leave reviews?
No, I'm not really a review guy.
Okay,
but
good.
I'm a guy who, we've been planning kind of this idea of moving somewhere ever since I knew my wife. Like, this was even before I knew my wife. It was always something I desired to live abroad.
Okay, got you.
Now, I never knew plumbing was going to be the route I was going to take to get me there. But when I met my wife, she was kind of like, she's already from South America. So Canada is not her first choice. Like, it's a cold country, all these things. And her family lives in Florida. But I don't love Florida. So I'm like, Florida's never going to happen. But when we always, throughout us being together, the family always traveled to different places in the world, but we always gravitated back to Dominican in one way or another.
It's a good place.
It's a great
It is a
place.
nice
I love
place.
Dominican.
Yeah.
But the one thing I find, people always gravitate to Punta Cana.
Yeah.
Punta Cana is not Dominican. It's a resort town.
Have you been to Rio Republica?
A what?
Rio Republica, it's like a resort.
Oh, it's a resort there? No,
Yeah.
I think I stayed the one next to it.
That place
actually.
should be shut
Yeah,
down.
that place
now.
is Rio
Yeah.
Republica's. It's basically like, long story short, there's no food there. It's just drinks,
Rum and cokes.
rum and cokes, alcohol. They don't even care. It's like you go there, you're not expecting to eat well. You just party. It's just a straight party.
Yeah. This is the part I don't like about Punta Cana. It's very Americanized as far as I'm concerned, and it's all resorts. It's a resort town.
It is.
Yeah,
So people go there literally get boned on everything. Tourism, drinks, anything. I live on the North Coast. So on the North Coast, there's a lot of expats, people from all around the world. There's a huge Russian community, a huge Italian community, a huge American and Canadian community. And this is how these people start talking about, okay, this restaurant's really good on this night.
That's how he found his fucking kidney.
Okay.
And then like, he was like, at the time he was like, how do you like this town?
Yeah.
Like, what are the goods and what are the bads? So when he came on the visit, we showed him a couple places just to say, hey, and we went from there. And then my wife started doing real estate down there, so it was kind of like another link. So it was all that kind of thing.
All right.
But not knowing any of this at the time when we started talking, it just happened.
Yeah.
So crazy. You get it now?
I get it.
Get
I
it?
just thought
Yeah,
this
I'm glad you
random
get
dude sent you a message, like, you know what I mean? Hey, bro, what's up? Like,
Do you need a kidney?
yeah, like just like out of the blue, right? Like it adds up now. I get it.
Trying to ask you if he sent you a dick pic.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at. Like, are you like, was there like, did you guys like mingle on the other? Like, was it just strictly business, or was it no, strictly?
Like when we got to know each other, then he finally came to visit. We went for drinks.
What did you like? How did you repay him for the kidney? Like any sort of acts, or just like?
Well, I do honor him. Our anniversary every year.
You guys have your own anniversary.
So we have our anniversary.
Okay.
And it's just like, I call it the day of Davidia. So the day we celebrate Dave. So we we just go hang out. We do whatever he wants to do.
What do you guys do?
Well, we've only had one so far. So unfortunately,
A little bit of wine.
The prick. His wife forgot that was the anniversary. So they actually came back to Canada that particular day. So we had actually missed it by a couple days. So when he came back, we just went out, hang out at the beach, had a couple beers,
Nice.
just hang out. They didn't appreciate each
A
other.
little date.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But our wives were there, so they ruined it for us. So, but yeah, that's basically it.
They ruined
I think what out of like, did you trying to get like if you met him on some app?
No.
Like,
I'm just, hey man, I'm just asking.
I think you're digging.
I'm
You're
digging.
digging.
I'm digging. We're just asking, but that's good. Next thing, he's got to get you a hair transplant next.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
I'm
next.
good. I like this. I never have a bad hair day. I always leave the house under 2 minutes, and I don't have to spend $40 on gel like you do.
Yeah. Adam spends a lot of money on gel.
Yeah, dude. I actually just bought some, like literally yesterday. I had to re-up. Yeah, I go through a bottle like in 2 weeks.
When I was
done.
19, I think 22, I actually started shaving my head on a bet. But prior to that,
and I'm a degenerate. Okay.
hey, that was a once in a lifetime bet that I bet it $50. $50 was a decent amount. I made it back in 91, I think, 92. I'm like, sure, I'll do it. And I remember shaving my head and we went out that night. I remember coming home that next morning, getting out of the car, and my father's ready to go to work. And he looks at me, he's like, what the fuck with your hair? And I said, shaved it on a bet. He goes, that's the best haircut you ever had.
I was not expecting
I love
that.
it. He goes, I love it.
That was it?
I've never grown my hair back. I grew my hair back only once for my sister's wedding. And she was so mad because I grew it back and I colored it
What do you mean by
black.
growing your hair back? Like stubble?
No, like hair.
Well, how
Like
about now? Could you grow your hair back?
Nah, I'm too old now. Now there's some parts will come back. There's some parts a little thinner.
It's like Dr. Phil now. Just the sides come
No,
back.
a little better than Dr. Phil,
Okay,
but yeah, it needs a little help.
Actually, speaking about COVID, he used to cut my hair.
Yeah.
We used to go to his like Loretto got word. So originally, like I needed a haircut so bad because my beard always it looks like pubes like after a certain amount of time. So I couldn't, and I can't do it. So we used to go to Loretto's, and he's like, man, fuck it, I'll just cut your hair. So he tried it, and it was not bad. But then obviously all the barbers were shut down at the time, and everyone kind of got word that he was just not bad. And then he was cutting hair for like a week, 2
Would
weeks.
you have a side hustle going?
No,
Or?
I was just doing it.
Dude,
I wasn't. They weren't paying me or anything. I was just doing it.
Out the basement door, people used to come in. We used to sit on his chair, and he was just cutting.
Yeah, my one buddy actually had a really, really bad haircut at the time, and he came to me. He's like, "Bro, can you fix it?" I'm
Like he was
"Fix it?"
fixing hair.
No. He asked me, "Can you fix it?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know if I could fix it." So he sat down. He's like, "Bro, just don't touch the top." And I'm like, dude, if you want me to fix it, like I got to like touch the top.
And we would
like,
trust him.
Yeah,
We
and
would trust him.
he
We'd
gave
actually
me-
trust this guy.
I had the scissors and the razor and everything.
Yeah,
Like I was ready to go, and
Yeah.
so I did it. I fucked up his hair bad. I fucked up his hair. He still brings it up to this day. Like it was bad, but it was already bad. I just kind of made it worse.
At the time, though, you were taking anything you can get, and then he did mine first, and mine actually looked not bad. So everyone used to be like, "Let me see your hair." And
Fluke.
I used to show them, and I was like the reference guy. I'd be like, "You know what? Fuck it, do me." So
you were the guinea pig, is what you were, and
I
then everybody's
was.
like, he survived.
You
so
know
we're
what?
good.
My hair turned out the best, and then I
got
already
worse.
have good hair though. So
It's got
it's not
worse.
that you can't fuck up mine.
Oh,
Right?
you can fuck it up.
So
If you say so.
yeah. So he would just start cutting out everyone's hair, and yeah, that was his
COVID,
That was his other job.
Reds cuts.
Yeah, Reds cuts. That was lingo. But Eddie, man, we appreciate you coming on the pod. Appreciate your time. That was a phenomenal story, phenomenal recap of
Thank you
everything.
for having me. It was an honor.
Yeah, it was awesome. He's Eddie's actually been our biggest critic, but biggest fan at the same time.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you, and that was awesome, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eddie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everything, yeah. Break the break talk. Yeah. Break the break talk.